Hey everyone, and welcome to Laser Source, the #1 laser engraving podcast. Whether you're just getting into lasers or you're trying to level up and grow your laser business that exists already, we're going to cover all of the latest tips and tricks, new techniques, new technologies, and more, as well as getting the perspective and experience from other laser engraving professionals through interviews and hangout sessions. So if you are interested at all in laser engraving, regardless of your skill level, this is exactly the place you want to be. Every single week we cover new topics and perspectives to make sure that you have a well-rounded understanding of what's going on in the laser world. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn, because we're going to cover a bunch of new stuff, and we're getting started right now. Welcome everybody to the Laser Source podcast, the #1 podcast. If you're just starting to get into laser, or you're looking to grow or scale your existing laser business, this is the place you want to be. And we've got an awesome episode for you today. We're going through our absolute favorite or most vital laser accessories. These are the things you want to get when you open your shop, and you want to start doing work. You're going to need all of the stuff on this list. So we're going to go through all of these items one by one. You can see we've got the no IR shields up here. We're going to get into that in just a second. But first, let me introduce everybody we've got with us today. We've got Tony.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
We've got Patrick.
Hello.
We've got Gio.
How's it going?
Mr. Tacky is here.
What's up?
And in his Laser Source debut, we've actually got Lithgow Lights all the way from Australia. How's it going, man?
Hey.
G'day, guys.
Good day. Yes. So we've got a huge list of stuff to go through. So we're gonna get right into it, because seriously, like, there's so many tabs open on my browser right now. I can't wait to start closing them because it's stressing me out. The very first thing that we've got here. Well, let me first say, of course, everything we cover in this episode will be linked in the description. So if you need anything that we cover on this list, you can find a link in the description, or you can check out the Laser Everything 2021 buying guide. It's lasereverything.net/buying guide. So if you want any of the products we talk about today, that's where you can find any of them. The first item that we have on the list, this was something that I added, is just a good pair of laser goggles. Wear your laser goggles, guys. Do you guys all wear laser goggles of some sort, right?
Yep.
Sure do.
Yep. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I see some manufacturer ones. I see a couple aftermarket ones. Yep. Very good. So there's a few different places. No IR. These are like the people that make laser glasses. And you can get them in any spectrum and in any color. And if you have just like a ton of money burning a hole in your pocket, you can pick up a pair of these goggles. They're really cool, but they're super expensive. So you can get them in pretty much any wavelength, and they give you really great coverage charts to show you how much energy you're blocking, and its ability to do so at different wavelengths, which is really cool. So this is a great website. Again, if you've got a little money burning a hole in your pocket, or you're very serious about eye safety and you want the best of the best, No IR is what I would check out. But if that's not in the cards for you, you can also check out this company here, Free Mascot. I own a few pairs of these glasses, and they've worked really well for me. I haven't done any specific like energy density testing on like what's actually making it through the lenses on these, but in our crappy in-shop tests where we're just blasting them with a laser, they seem to do a hell of a job, and they are I don't even know, a fifth of the price of the No IR glasses. So I use these. I'm okay with that. It's kind of an assumed risk, but that's what I use here at the shop. What do you guys use for safety glasses? Do you wear them? Do you not wear them at all? Tell
First,
me
I
really
believe
quick.
it's noir, not no IR.
Oh my god!
I think it's
you got fancy.
So,
Okay.
I have two of the style that came with the fiber laser. Then I got the ones that you recommended on your video. So I've got two pairs, so two people can sit in here. I always wear them, even when I forget that I'm not lasering. usually have them on because they're good visible light. Like at least the ones that you're linking right now on the screen. Like I could wear these and I could still do everything I want to because I can actually see what's going on. They're not too dark.
Right.
Yep. I have free mascot.
Okay, good.
That's what I wear.
Yeah, the free mascots. Yeah, yep. I like them. I think they're great, and they're actually comfortable. They're not like hard plastic. They've got kind of like a soft, like rubberized plastic on them, which is nice.
If you wear glasses, they fit over those too, right?
Yep, they do really well. Yeah, they fit under. There's a few different styles you can get. Too. I like just kind of this style. They fit well over my glasses and provide good coverage. But you can get these for any wavelength too, which is nice. And again, the price is right. It's not so low that it's like really sketchy. You know, they're not like it's not like a $15 pair of laser safety glasses, but it's also not $250. So I think where they cut corners on these is just in the like kind of like lab readouts that they provide you. Like I think on the fancier ones, they've done a lot of testing and can provide you a lot of data. I think these guys, it's more just like, we know that these lenses filter out the laser light. Here it is. And they don't bother with any of that kind of like aftercare stuff. The support's probably not as good. If you have any issues with them or like they start falling apart, I'm sure they're lacking in the warranty area. But again, it's a good cost saving measure and they do seem to work well. Let's see what's next on our list. I skipped over it here just because these were in the wrong order. But the 713maker.com jigs, I don't own this yet, so maybe you guys can sell me on this if you want to talk about them a little bit. You literally all have them, which is so funny.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I think you're the only one that doesn't.
So, I mean, talk to me, guys. What do they do? What are they for? Why would I want one?
Go ahead, Tony. Mr. Coin guy.
Well, I use my cross for coins. I can put 4, dial in my settings where I want it to go, and hit go, and it'll do 4 coins at once, and that's it. But these are great for everything. So
nice.
And Patrick is showing his setup on the board right now. He's got them locking down his axe that he's working on, right?
Yep, axe and a spatula. So it's not going to go
it
anywhere.
looks like he's actually got that crossbar, like putting pressure on it and holding the spatula down, which is a really clever way to use that. Yep, super smart.
I also have the business card holder. I know that I printed out I 3D printed out one of these before I had it, and you can find this in the Discord STL version of it. But I like the design quality, and it only costs like a few extra bucks on top of like the $25 pack from 313 Maker, and it comes with the 2 small bolts that recess into it. So these are a lot smaller than any of the other ones I have. And when it fits in, it doesn't, well, I'm not going to show you right now, but it lets you put like 3 or 4 business cards into it, the thicker ones, and you just, hit the foot pedal, pull one out, hit the foot pedal, pull one out, and you can get them done pretty quick. If you want to get like a 3D printed version, that's great, but I didn't mind paying because it was good quality and it shipped pretty fast. I think I had it.
Yeah, 713 Maker is great.
So the only person I don't think that we heard from on the 713 jigs was Geo. Do you use them regularly? Do you have a specific use that you use them for?
If I'm doing something that's repetitive, it gives me a good index. So kind of like what Tony was saying, you set it up, you figure out where your part is placed, and you just keep putting the parts in the exact same spot.
Yeah,
so
it's just like I don't do a lot of repetitive stuff here, which sucks. I wish that I did because you make better money doing repetitive stuff, but everything that we do over here is one-off. But I should still pick up a kit of this anyway, so I'm probably going to grab one because at $20 it's just like, why wouldn't you buy that? So
I mean, they're great for squaring things up anyway, because like, okay, well, the center's here, I can always leave that gate right there. So if you're placing a phone or a case or something, that it's going to be centered no matter what. You got to just jog down or up and you're done. So it's not just like for one-off things too. So.
Totally. Well, we're going to move right along here because we've still got 50 tabs to go through. Next up, lens wipes. These are made by Zeiss, and it looks like right now they are $11.99. So another super inexpensive item. I think, Gio, did you add these to the list?
I did. I like them. They're good for, keeping your glasses clean, but they work good for the actual lenses. So on my CO2, I use that on my lenses, my mirrors, and just keeps everything nice and clean. Just rip open a pack, wipe it down real quick, throw it away. It's just something that's really quick and easy to keep up on maintenance.
Are they like wet wipes or are they dry?
They're wet.
And do
Yeah.
they and it dries without leaving like a residue?
I believe
Yeah.
pre-moistened is the proper
That's-
term.
Yes.
Pre-moistened. Thank you. I was trying to avoid the M word, but here we are.
You can bleep it
So,
out.
It's
The
Edit
problem
that
I
out.
usually have when I'm cleaning my lenses is that I just like, no matter what I use to clean my lenses, even like 99% alcohol, I feel like I get like a leftover shitty, like just
Yeah, I just use
film
microfiber
or something.
cloths to,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's an actual lens. Yeah, it's a lens wipe, so it's designed to not scratch any the material, and then it's got the I believe it's alcohol that's on them, but I don't see any streaks on it, so I can wipe past. So long as it's not like a really dirty lens, might take a second one, but it's a lot easier to stay on top of it because I don't have to dig the alcohol out, go find a clean microfiber, find a clean spot on the microfiber. I just grab a pack, rip it open, wipe it down real quick, and I'm done.
Yeah, and real quick, while we're talking about cleaning your lenses and mirrors, never wipe hard. Don't wipe in circles either. If there is any kind of grit or anything hard on it, you're going to scratch it. So you need to be very light when you guys are cleaning your stuff, or you're going to have to replace it.
Yes, if it's really dirty, also start with the middle and work your way out in a straight line towards the edge, and then move to a clean spot on your wipe or your cloth or whatever you're using. Always start with a clean part and then slide it off towards the edge. That'll reduce scratching and also make sure you don't have stuff that's getting dug into the lens.
Yeah, another thing that'll really help with that, which we're going to cover a little bit later in the episode here, is the data vac, the compressed air. Start with compressed air before you start wiping things, because if you can blow any big, heavy, loose stuff off before you start wiping, that's going to save you a lot of work and potentially protect your lens as well. So we'll talk about that a little bit further on here. This is a great suggestion. I'm definitely going to pick up a pack of these because I don't clean my lenses as often as I should, and it's mostly just because it's inconvenient and I have other things that I want to be doing besides cleaning lenses. So that seems like, again, another no-brainer at $11.99. Super cheap. Next up, the Starrett 135A. We should all be Starrett owners here. Is there anybody who doesn't own one of these?
I don't have
I don't
one.
own one.
Oh no! I got mine.
I ordered it
on a
and it never
chameleon.
showed up.
That
so.
is just, that makes me so
I got
sad.
a chameleon.
You two need to get 135As. They're brilliant.
Dude.
They're tiny little
They're
perfect things. They
freaking
go
awesome.
everywhere. They're
I
accurate.
paid for it. Hasn't showed
and
up.
they're sick. They're just the best. It's just the best
Dude.
little level. They're
Yeah.
not that expensive. At $32.62, it's definitely significantly more expensive than the cheapy ones, but they work so
It's-
much better.
Dude, it's stout. Man.
Yeah, they work so much better. And I have a whole video on this, so I'll link that video below if you want to watch it. But these are the best. We have even just like a fake secret society in the Discord server built around owning one of these. That's how ubiquitous they are. So really cool. Don't skip out on the Starrett because that is an awesome product right there. And we're going to follow this up. Tacky recommends this one, the Digipass 2-axis Smart Master Precision level. It's a digital level, and it's a chunky boy. Can you talk to us about this a little bit, Tacky?
Yeah, so we use this at where I worked, and it's a X and Y. It has a Bluetooth app, so you can. Right now, you see it's flashing because I'm holding it up, but it goes up to 10 degrees, and the resolution is up to however many, minutes and seconds of a degree. It's a little big, but that's just part of the problem, or not the problem, just part of how big it is. Part of using it is a little bit difficult if you have a small part. Like if you wanted to engrave something small, it's not going to give you a good readout. But if you have something large, or you're checking the level of your galvo head, if you're trying to get that perfect to your workbench, it's good. And it is, like I said, it's crazy precise. So I could tell that, I did an axe earlier and it was off, and I got it within like half a degree of level, and it worked really well. So not everyone's going to have a use for it. If you can buy a $30 Starrett versus a $300 digital level, I use it in other areas, not just on the laser. So it was more like hey, I could also use this there. So I would recommend one of these if you have something else that you are trying to get a really good level on. Otherwise, it's a little over the top.
When I was preparing these tabs to show on the video version of the podcast here, I saw there were a couple versions of this digital level too, and some of them weren't $350. So we'll link to a couple of the maybe more entry level versions of this if you want to get more into like the digital level space, but you don't want to drop $360. There are a few cheaper alternatives, and we'll make sure that we link those below for you so that you can go ahead and explore those. So we'll move right along here to our next one. We all agree on this one. Extra lenses. Your fiber laser, your CO2 laser, whatever laser you have, if it's a Galvo laser, costs you at least $2,000 to $3,000 at the very least. Buying extra $100 lenses for it should be a no-brainer. And I think we would all agree that having a full set of lenses to be able to swap through based on your needs and the job that you're trying to do is just like an absolute must. At least 3. I would say at least 3. Get a low field one like a 50 or a 70, and then like a medium field lens like a 110 to a 175, and then if you can, a large field like a 200 to 300. I think as long as you have like one of each of those 3, you should be okay. There's pros and cons to picking up any of them, and we can debate about that forever in the Discord, basically which lenses are the best. But the ideal answer is just buy a couple, add $300 to the cost of your machine, and have a selection of lenses so that you can do some different stuff. Does anybody?
I would argue that these are the #1 accessory to get with your fiber laser, your Galvo laser. Before you get anything else, you want to have multiple lenses because it will completely change your ability to engrave. Whether you're going for a larger size or you're going for a smaller size, it changes the optics of the laser so much. Like you're like, hey, I only have a 30 watt. Then you get a 50 millimeter workspace. You're like, wow, I can really cut and engrave on this small size now.
Yeah.
And it's always good to get it when you buy your laser, so that way the manufacturer supplies lenses that definitely work with your machine. I've had a little bit of trouble trying to find one that matched the spacer that's on my Galvo head. So that's it's a quick, easy option when you get your laser to add those on.
Yep. And if it's too late for you and you're already past that point, we do have a ton of different laser lenses on the buying guide. So again, that's lasereverything.net/buying guide. We've got the standard f-theta lenses, the OPEX versions. We've got some CO2 gantry style lenses that you can pick up. Those are cloud ray. They're really high quality. And then we've just added the f-theta CO2 lenses for the CO2 Galvo back there. So no matter what kind of lens you need, we've got that linked here for you so you don't have to hunt around for it. And we've also got a video on the YouTube channel. I think it's called like OPEX, know your fiber laser lens, or like which fiber laser lens to buy. It goes over like which one of these you would need and why and some of the differences. So you can definitely check that out as well. And of course, we will link that down below for you on that. So any other input on lenses before we move on? We look good? Okay, so moving on, the pan of ice. I love this thing. You want a good vise. This thing is so cool. I love it. Yeah. It has such a like crazy range of motion, and you can configure them however you want. Oh, look, there's a couple of you guys have them. That's so funny.
You gotta have it, man.
This is the Pan of Ice Junior, which you can see up here on my screen right now if you're watching the video version of this. And then they also make the full-size one, the Pan of Ice 350. And one of the coolest things about this vise is that it's designed to take different heads. So they have a head, they call it a circuit board head, which we're going to be testing out soon for cutting metals. That'll actually hold metal up so that you can cut it. It's got the Pan of Ice Junior head you can put on the full-size base. It's got special like vice grip heads that you can pick up. You can see some of the options here if you're watching with us on video. So there's all different kinds of attachments. It's got every version of this has like a super weighted base, and the bases are threaded so that you can screw them down on your fiber laser table. So it's just like, it's like a perfect option for this. If you're looking for a vise or something to hold material. What do you guys use yours very often? Have you used them for any particular jobs? Is there anything interesting that you've ended up having to use yours for? I think the number one thing I use mine for is rings when I'm doing rings.
Yep. I use mine to hold an air assist tube to engrave wood with the fiber laser.
Smart.
To be honest, I use mine to hold my phone sometimes to get close shots.
Nice.
Pro tip.
Nice.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, I literally
Yeah.
put my phone on there and just get close shots. Like for
That's
real,
awesome.
like,
I've done
That's
that
a great
too.
pro tip.
seriously, yeah.
And Patrick, we're gonna have to sit down at some point and talk about your air assist setup because I really want to replicate that for the Galvo CO2. I feel like would really benefit from the way you have that set up. But that's not
Yep.
here today. That's not in the cards today. But we're going to touch base on that because that's going to be a Laser Everything episode for sure. So there's a Panavice. The Junior is just like $20. That's like a throwaway purchase right there. And then the big one is a little more expensive at $89.99, but once you get the base with the little like rotating ball kind of stand thing, the heads are $20 a piece, and there's like 5 of them. So once you get the main setup, then just getting different heads for it is actually pretty affordable. So I just really wanted to show those to you guys because I really enjoy this. It's been something that's been very helpful. And it's not something that I bought because I knew I had a need for it, but once I got it, I like saw the need for it. It made itself apparent as I was working on different jobs. So that was really cool. Let's see what's next on our list here. We have the Cloud Ray Ultimate Air Assist set for CO2 laser cutting. I don't know anything about this, so I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let Lithgow tell us all about it because I know that you
I've
have
got an
set
80
this up
watt,
in your machine. So let's
CO2.
hear.
This was one of the first options that I bought. I think I bought it about a week after I had the CO2. Now, what it allows you to do is in your software, whichever you choose to use, Lightburn is what I use, there's a little option to tick to use air. So what I do is when I'm engraving, the Ultimate Air Assist has a little bypass around the solenoid so that there's just enough air coming out to keep gunk from getting on the final lens. But when I then go to cut, I just have that enabled for the item or for the color that I'm cutting with, and bang, it 15 psi up its backside, and nice clean cuts, no flames in wood or plastic or anything like that. It is a reasonably cheap thing to purchase. I did not use the. It comes with a relay there to turn on and off your air compressor. I use a proper air compressor. It's only a 20 odd litre one. But I use that, and yeah, it took me maybe 25 minutes to install, and yeah, I highly recommend it.
So do you have to have any knowledge about these systems in order to install them? Did it come with instructions? Is there a video out there?
They are available on the net, so if you don't get theirs, you could make your own little setup up. The only
how was the English? Was the English okay? And enough to figure it out
There's
at least?
a little bypass valve that can be a little bit fiddly to get right, just to get that normal air supply when you're not cutting. It can be a bit fiddly to get exactly right, but hey, 10 minutes work and yeah, well worth it.
The other thing that I'd recommend too is if you don't want to mess with the relay, but you also don't have a proper air compressor, I have on my air compressor a little like inline switch that sits between the outlet and the air compressor cord, and it's just got a little switch on it. That's what I use here at the shop. So that you can get those. They're like $1 on Amazon. So that could work too. Are you guys interested in this setup? Is anybody going to be picking this up?
I probably
already
will.
did. I already did.
You literally already bought it. You just heard about it just
did.
before the show. That's so funny. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to pick one up too. I might wait for Tony. Tony's stress level when he's installing things is a good meter for whether or not I want to actually try something and
absolutely
undergo the stress of it. So this is a great tip, Lithgow. I'm so glad that you came on the show today to share this one with us because I don't think any of us have seen this before. This is new to literally everybody here. So very, very cool little tip on those, and we'll definitely give those a check out. Moving on here, I believe this is from Patrick. Patrick, talk to me about this drill press vise. It seems pretty standard. This is just like a basic shop tool that people should have. What do you use it for with laser?
Well, here's a real use case as I have, if you want to do the back of an axe head and you want to have it set up and level and not fall over on you, put your sterret on there, make sure the bubble's nice and centered. I have some 3D printed plastic jaws for it. so that you don't mark anything up. But you put that on your base, and it'll hold axe head or anything else you could think of to put in there.
Do you have that just drilled right into the table with like some bolts?
No, this would actually move over underneath.
It's just
yeah. Then you're going
to just heavy enough.
Yeah, you're going to set that underneath your laser that it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, awesome, very cool. And it looks another $20 purchase. This is going to be a dangerous episode for people because things are so inexpensive. It's so easy to just jump through this list and click to add. Yeah, I don't have anything like this either. And I like that. One reason that you'd want to get this in conjunction with, like we were just talking about, the fancy pan Vises, is that this is very low profile, right? So if you have a large object, this is going to sit really close to the bottom of the bed, which is going to give you a little more room on your Z to be flexible, because the pan Vise is quite tall, as versatile as it is.
Yeah, and doing it back of an axe head, it's obviously going to be in its tallest orientation, so having it lower is better.
Right, absolutely. Yep, that seems like an easy one, no problem. This is the next thing. Lithgow, you suggested this too, and we have two options here. We've got a standard fire extinguisher. This one's $20, another $20 purchase. But we've also got this Pro 5 carbon dioxide fire extinguisher, which is significantly more expensive, but you're telling me that's the one you recommend.
CO2 laser. The reason CO2 is a better option for there is it won't damage the electronics. So if you happen to have a bit of a flare up on the wood and you can't get it out, or plastic or whatever, you can't get it out safely, hitting it with the CO2 won't most likely damage your laser, at least from the CO2 being used. The fire itself may do other damage, of course. Once you actually set off a dry powder extinguisher, pretty much whatever you spray it at is toast. It's going to be an insurance job. So, I use the CO2 over there just for security. Also, I have wooden shelves above my laser, which is, I kind of want to make sure that anything that catches fire in there goes out pretty quickly.
Right. So basically spending the extra money up front on the CO2 fire extinguisher is kind of like a salvage insurance policy, so that once the fire is out and it's safe again, you can hopefully restore your ability to laser, or at least pull something from it to use, even if you have to replace your laser. It's not a total loss. Yep. Okay. Absolutely. Fun story about Alex over at Laser Everything. Bad example over here. I don't own a fire extinguisher at all. There isn't one in this entire build. There's probably one way down at the opposite end of the building because they manufacture medical supplies down there. I don't have one. So I'd be like running out of this room to go get one right now. I am like 2 inches from a sink, but yeah, I'm not trying to dump water into my CO2. That sounds like it would just be a nightmare. So this is probably the actual, if I'm going to buy anything off of this list today, it's probably going to be that, because that just seems like a stupid thing to not have. So, and it's very tempting to go the $20 option here, but I do like the sound of having the CO2 and having that extra kind of like peace of mind that I'm not going to totally toast my machine,
and it's not only that
in the event of a fire, and putting that out safely. So,
something to consider also is you're working on the laser. You're probably going to have your laptop or your computer close to the laser. Yeah. If you spray your laser with that other one, you're probably going to get some of that dry extinguisher chemical in your laptop, which now you got to replace your laptop on top of your laser.
Right, and you could like, if you're not backing up to the cloud or whatever, you could be losing jobs, you could be losing work, data, files. That's a big risk. So if you do use your computer next to your laser, then this again seems like a very smart and reasonable purchase, despite the extra cost, just to save yourself that headache, because that could be really bad. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point, Gio. So buy a fire extinguisher. Don't be like me.
Yeah, real quick too, if you find that you have to use a fire extinguisher for any reason, whether it's in the house or at work or working with your laser, once you pull that pin and you start to spray it, you might as well spray the entire thing until the fire is out. If you give it a little spritz and then don't use it anymore, you have to go back and recharge it again. A lot of people don't realize that because they haven't messed with the fire extinguisher. But once you pull that pin and hit the handle to start it, you might as well just blow it all out.
So it's like grenade rules over here. If you pull the pin, it's going off. Like just do it. Quick question: can the CO2 ones be recharged, and do they require regular recharging like the dry powder ones?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they can all be recharged. They're just a container.
Depending on your local area, it can actually be dearer than buying a new one.
Got it. Okay, got it. Very cool. All right, good tips all around. Safety is always, should be the first priority. Again, I need to pick one up. I'm ashamed right now. I have some shame.
Me too.
But I luckily have a great product coming up for you guys so that we can change the subject and shift away from me. Get a camera. Buy a camera. Have a decent camera. It doesn't matter what camera you do. This is a great mirrorless option. It's brand new. It's the Sony ZV-1. It's relatively inexpensive as far as fancy cameras go at $700. I also have linked here the EOS M50, which has swappable lenses. So if you prefer to be able to change your lenses out, this could be a really great option for you as well. A little bit cheaper at $649. It doesn't really matter. If you have a modern smartphone, you can get away with it, but I like having like real cameras, and I think everybody should have access to a camera. If you're trying to run a laser business, you have to be able to take pictures of your work, and they need to be nice pictures. They can't be like, you can't throw it on your carpet on the floor and use that as a backdrop and take pictures under fluorescent lighting. Like, don't do that. Like, invest in a little bit of a setup, maybe a light box kit, which I don't have up on Amazon right now, but like a little light box, or even just some like stand-up LED lights. They make mini ones. That's what we're using to light the lasers up back there. They're only about this big. Just something like invest some money into your camera setup so that you can take decent pictures and videos for your customers so that they can see what you're working on.
Yeah, some of Tony's photos of his coins are awesome, and that's a really good example of what a good camera with a good lens can do for you.
Yep, absolutely.
The main thing is I have a few stained pieces of like wood. I don't have them here, but if you don't have option to get like a light box, I open my side door and I have like a little table and I put this piece of wood that I stained beautiful, and I just put everything on there and I kind of shoot it that way, and that gives me a backdrop. So lighting is important, especially if I take a picture in here. I have to have some good lights. So I have a booth that I bought. It's like maybe 3x3, and I put items in there and has a ring light inside of it, and I take those pictures inside of that box, and they look awesome. So I think natural lighting is always the best. So if you do have like a little garden area or like some rocks, be creative and use that. But if you don't have that, if we just do a quick search here on Amazon for photo booth, a ton of options pop up already. So there's from one. Newer. It's $100 from Newer. And then there's some cheaper ones. If you have a really small setup or you're doing some really small things, you don't need one that's quite as big. There's a whole range of prices here. We'll link a couple in the description for you. But definitely I just wanted to at least mention that your photography game is really important. We're in the business of putting things on stuff that people look at visually, right? So if you're not representing that, if you don't have a showcase of those things and you're not building a portfolio, it's going to make it a lot more difficult to get work. And I think having a decent camera is a really strong first step. And again, I like the Sony ZV-1 or like the EOS M50 is great. They're mirrorless, they're small and they're compact, and they still have like a nice range of lenses like on the M50. Or if you want kind of the all-in-one, the ZV-1 has a really nice lens on it. And I've played with both of these cameras, and they're nice little cameras. So just something to check out for you. I believe Tacky added the next thing on the list, and that is the Starrett electronic caliper. You got to have a caliper, guys. This is like, that's a
this
must.
is like, if you are a sheriff in Pittsburgh,
my man.
If you are the sheriff in a wild western town, like your caliper is your revolver. Okay,
dude, you gotta have it.
You gotta have it. You gotta measure stuff. You gotta take measurements. Especially, we do a lot of detail work in this industry. measure. Tacky, take it away. Tell me why this one? Why calipers in general? What do you use it for?
Well, Starrett is, a really good. I believe they're an American brand. We try to buy American as much as we can. They've been doing calipers before they had digital calipers. They have the micrometers. The dial indicators. And they're all I have ever been exposed to, like in the industry, when you're trying to get good measurements, whether it's automotive or industrial. And so that's just the brand that I always think of when I need to buy a measuring device. So getting digital calipers, you need them to do stuff like, even if you're getting a new lens, you need to check and make sure that your warp settings are right. That's what you're using to measure it. You get that, you lock it out. If you lock the top out so that it doesn't move once you've got it down there. When you're fabricating stuff, you can use the end to scribe on the metal. It's just, this is just one of the tools that, even if you're not using laser, you're using it if you're doing any kind of maintenance or any kind of fabrication work. And Starrett is just I would rather put my money with Starrett. I would rather buy one of these and buy 3 of any other brand that you would find on Amazon. So that's always going to be my recommendation. With a company like them, you're buying quality and you can expect it to last.
Yeah, I've got my cheap ones that are plastic, or it's a composite, just so I don't have to worry about scratching stuff. So I know you mentioned scribing with the metal ones. I don't want to do that on some of my stuff, so that's why I have the cheap composite ones for stuff like that. But yeah, a good set of like Starrett or Fowler, Mitutoyo if you want to go Japanese.
Mitutoyo. Yeah, Mitutoyo is good. I got Mitutoyo.
I keep a dial caliper just in case the batteries go dead and I don't have any replacements.
Yep.
Yeah, they've been making measurement devices since 1880.
This is mine right here. Is the Brown and Sharp, the Twin Cal, which is really nice too. I really enjoy this. This is actually a gift. It has a laser engraving on the back of it from my mentor. So when I left Sonoma Laser Engraving, Michael gave me one of these and engraved it for me, and this was my gift after working with him for 7 years. So I use this one all the time. So you can't go wrong. You should spend $60 to $150 on a decent caliper, and then
it's a must.
I would say a pile maybe of $20 ones if you have 2 or 3 extra that are cheapo that you can just grab in an instant if you need it, or you don't mind banging up for quick work. It doesn't hurt to grab a couple extra on those as well. So caliper guys, pick one up. Pick one up. Next topic, really interesting. So we have an episode on the channel about macro lenses for cameras and why you would want to use like a macro lens to look into some details of what you're working on. And I made that episode before I found out that literally all of you guys use digital microscopes to check your work.
Everyone
this
holds
is new
one
to me. So I actually ordered. I actually ordered a couple of these so that we could review some of these on the channel, but these are the ones recommended by our crew here today. So I think between the 5 of you, 2 of you at least own one of these and 2 of you own the other one, which is why we're showcasing these 2 today.
They're the same, but mine has a little suction cup thingy and a flexible head. Yeah, flexible head.
So these
I originally...
so these are made by the same company, right? These 2 options here.
They're all the same.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, sure. They look pretty affordable too. One comes in at $22.99 and one comes in at $39.99. I just tell me about. So who has the $22 one? Those Patrick and Lithgow. Do you guys like them? Do you use them often? If so, what do you use them for?
Yeah, I use mine. It's handy to just even plug into your phone and get a picture and look at it on your phone, take a screenshot, whatever. And it works with Windows as well.
You can plug it directly into your phone.
Yeah, with my Android and a
actually got the
USB adapter, I
on the end there
no problem.
that you can get a standard USB. Yeah, I'm not going to muck around with it now, but
awesome, very cool, very cool.
Yep.
And then I think Tacky and Tony, you guys own the $39 one. That one has like a base, so you're actually like kind of you're coming down on top of it, right?
Yeah, it's like a microscope type base. It's nice. It's Bluetooth, so you can connect to your phone via Bluetooth and take your pictures like that. It also plugs in and works with Windows. It's lighted as Tacky's showing, so it'll light up your work area.
Mine's Wi-Fi.
Well,
I don't know if
different.
you got Bluetooth, but mine's Wi-Fi. So you can connect it to the laptop or the phone, or you can use USB for the phone too. But the reason I got mine was when I first got my diode laser, was my first laser. It was attached to a CNC desktop machine, movable Z-axis, and so when I put a material on, I have to adjust my focus because it's not a fixed focus laser. And instead of trying to eyeball it, and you have to do it, it's kind of sketchy. You turn the diode laser on, put your safety glasses on, you're trying to look and see if it's in focus or not. And I didn't like that. So I got the microscope so that I could pull it up on my computer and not look at the laser and get it focused in right. And once I got that focus, then I knew that it was, as sharp as it was going to be.
Right.
Very worth I think I paid $50 last year when I got it, but it's still worth it.
Got mine for different. Go ahead.
Oh, no. What I wanted to hear about yours. Yeah.
Oh, no. So mine it's flexible head, and then you can zoom in and out. The reason why, honestly, the first thing why I got mine is for doing timing. So when I'm doing timing, you can see it, but this will get you like right in there. Like you can literally see if you know how much you're off, and you can dial in those laser timings on and off, cut off. So that's one of the main reasons why I got this, and also to check make sure my hatches are okay. So
yeah, I literally did the same thing.
I've never messed with my laser timings.
Dude, you
should probably do that. Yeah, we'll do an episode on that too. That's another thing I'll be able to do.
Timing, that's timing. All that box. It's all these are timing cards that I've done. So yeah, timing is important for me.
Got it. Yep, I'll have to look into that for sure. Well, we're still going, guys. We're still moving through this list here. We're getting towards the end. Let's see, where did we leave off? Right here. So the DataVac. This thing is so cool. This is one of my favorite things ever. So I just bought one because this is one of the things that we used to have at the old shop when I was working for somebody else, but I haven't been able to afford for my own shop. So I just bought one, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys who are listening, because it's basically like an infinite can of compressed air. It just you plug it in and it will just blow the strongest vortex of air at whatever you point it at forever until you're done using it. It was great so we had mentioned this earlier with cleaning the lenses. This should be the first step, right? You're going to hit it with the compressed air. And instead of having to deal with the cans, and the cans have like the solvents and like compressants that like spray out, and they're like super cold. And if they touch stuff, like that, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. If you turn it upside down, you blast it.
Yeah, you blast it. You don't want that on your lenses. So just get this, because it's just a compressor with literally like a blower nozzle on it. Don't you have one of these, Tony?
Yes, I do. It's in the cabinet back here. I use it a lot for everything. Just one caution though, and Gio can correct me because he's like the mathematician and all that stuff. This thing will cause what you call that when you static electricity. So you need it if you're spraying it like on a board or something. If you're spraying it on a board like that and you touch it, it will cause static electricity. Just be careful on that. So
it says anti-static on it, right?
Yeah,
right. So this is the ESD version, and it actually comes with a little grounding thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
don't use mine.
It is important.
There is a white version of the DataVac and a black version, and they are the same exact thing, but the black version comes with the grounding
clip.
connector.
Yeah. I don't use my clip. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Well,
the other alternative is you can get like a little lens puffer like this. They normally come with camera kits. This is what I've used, just because I haven't bought a DataVac yet, but that's going to be on my list now.
That's I'm sure those little Amazon lens puffer lens.
Yeah, I think it's called the Camera Puff Junior.
Yeah, I got one of those puffers.
Yeah. Like here's one. It's $10. Yeah, $10.
That one looks like a rocket ship.
Because yeah, it does. Because you may be on a budget. So if you're looking for a budget option, something like this, will work fine. It's obviously not going to give you the force that an electric one is going to give you, but it'll get the job done. So definitely an option for you as well. This is another thing. Every single person on this podcast owns one of these right now, except for me. And I don't know why I don't have one of these. What are we looking at? Who wants to talk about the infrared thermometer here? What is the purpose? Why do I need to buy one?
Geo.
Don't burn yourself.
Right. Yeah. No, I use mine just because I work in my garage. I'm in Arizona. It gets pretty hot in here. I use it to keep an eye on my chiller temp and my tube temp on my CO2, and then I also check the galvo head just to make sure things aren't getting too hot. If I'm doing something that's metal based, I'll check it before I grab it. But most of the stuff I do isn't too hot, just because I'm not doing a lot of deep etching.
Right. Perfect. And apparently you all see the value in owning these because you all own one. So yet another thing. I'm gonna have another expensive Amazon session today. Just spent $500 yesterday. I'm gonna spend another $500 today because apparently you guys have all this cool stuff I don't have. $30 seems to be the median price on these, so not very expensive. They take a little 9-volt, and it's just point and shoot, right? You point, shoot, get a temperature.
Yep,
super easy.
Even for your home, man. Like if you want to make sure your AC at home is working, just point it to the vent, and it'll tell you the temperature. It's great for everything. Even hell, the grill, like anything.
Right. Who added our little 6-pack of tweezers here?
That would be me.
Gotta have it.
All right, talk to me about it.
I use them a lot for the CO2 when I'm cutting wood or cutting paper. My wife likes to have me do like cards. She does scrapbooking, so I'll do cards and stuff for different holidays. And I'll use those tweezers to pick the parts out of the sheet. If I need something that kind of flipped up, I can kind of pick them out and without disturbing the piece, and then I can continue cutting the rest of the sheet.
Nice. Interesting. All right.
Or if stuff falls into the honeycomb, it's pretty good because my honeycomb's only about maybe 3/8 of an inch thick, so I can reach in there and grab some of the smaller parts.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like this would come really in handy with weeding too. If you're masking your wood with masking tape or masking acrylic to cut or engrave it, then you need to remove that. I feel like these would be perfect for that. So.
I think you even used a pair when you had to get that splinter out of your hand when Francine showed up too.
I did. I ended up moving from the I ended up moving from the tweezers to a knife and just cutting it out. But the tweezers were it was my go-to. It was to just start with the tweezers. And at $7, it's just buy them, right? And they're stainless steel. Don't get the plastic ones. The plastic ones are garbage. Get some steel ones, and you're gonna be a lot happier with that. Patrick, you're up. Talk to me about these knobs, because I was just sitting in my office minding my own business, and UPS came and dropped a box off, and it was a package from Patrick, and it was just a box filled with these knobs. What am I doing with these knobs, man?
What do you need with a bazillion knobs? All right, so there's an example of the 3 sizes that I typically use. And here they are in their bed. Those are the M6. And my main use lately has basically been using the knobs and one of the jig bars to hold down axe handles to keep them from moving around. So for taller items, you can use that in combination with the jig bars and just lock all your stuff down.
That's so freaking smart. That's so smart. So the bar goes on top. Oh man, that's so smart. I have a totally new appreciation for these before. I was like thinking like, oh yeah, I guess you could use them to just put the bars directly on the table, and it's like a little easier to turn and put them on or unturn or whatever. But that use right there, that makes sense. That's really, really, really smart.
Yeah, so
very cool.
Any thicker item you can use them on.
Got it. And you've so they make them in all different sizes, so you can get that looks like M6 and M4. They've got M8, or you can just get this assortment kit, $17. I'm assuming this is what you shipped over to the shop here, right?
Yeah.
See the assortment kit there. Yeah, yep. So you just get kind of like a bunch of different sizes. and shapes for various needs. So definitely something worth checking out. It's only $20, so not bad at all. I think it might even be cheaper to buy these than just the standard M6 machine screws.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Pick
very
a setup
cool.
myself.
And then the X-Acto, I believe that was Tacky's ad, the X-Acto knife.
I think that was Geo again.
No, that was mine
Is
again.
it Geo? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Geo with the little little guys.
Yep. Again,
Solidarity
have one,
again.
though.
But
for cleaning up stuff that may not cut completely through.
Okay.
It's nice to have.
Got it. So just kind of on that, would be a tool in conjunction with your tweezers that you would use for like kind of that weeding and fine processing. Yep, nice. And another $8 purchase. So like, why not just add it to your toolbox? That seems really easy. Tony is changing my mind on what brand of exhaust fan to use. Mine are just about dead. They're really starting to struggle with airflow, and I think it's just because I've been pumping garbage through them for two and a half years now. So they're just about dead, and I think I want to get a new set. And Tony's trying to convince me that AC Infinity is the way to go. What do you like about these, man? Why are you using them?
So I have probably about 3 of these. The reason why I like them is because number one, they're quiet. I've tried other fans. I got a few in the cabinet, and they're great. They work well, but these are quiet. And the reason why the first time I went with AC Infinity, it's quiet. The decibels are very low, but they can pump a lot of air. I have an intake and an exhaust one upstairs in a room where I keep electronics, like a server. So and it's upstairs where the kids are, and they don't hear it. So it's a small closet, so I need air to get in and then hot air to get back out. So when I have these, kids are sleeping, they don't hear that. So that prompted me to like, well, let's get the one for the CO2, and it's been working fine. It's right here, as you can see it. Yep. It's strong and it's really, really quiet. And I personally enjoy it. So
cool. Yeah. Awesome. So we've got a few different sizes here. We've got the S6 is the 6-inch, which I have a 6-inch and an 8-inch here in the shop. And what I do is my 6-inch fan adapts down to 4, and then I use a 4-inch hose to exhaust like directly off of my fiber table. And then I've got my 8-inch, which adapts down to a 6-inch hose, which I then plug into the CO2 because the CO2 takes a 6-inch hose standard for exhaust. And I think just having that little bit of extra oomph in the 8-inch fan and adapting down to 6 gives you some pretty good pull. So there's those two sizes there. Right now, the 6-inch is $109 and the 8-inch is $169. So it's a little bit more expensive, but compared to just the crappy blowers are almost the same price, and the blowers are garbage, and they're so loud, like the ones that come standard with the machine. So the inline fan seems like an easy choice when you're comparing the two options. Do you guys have any other recommendations, or what fans are you using to exhaust, if any at all?
I have a different version of the AC Infinity. I have the $30 version of what you have on screen. It doesn't have it looks a little bit different. Well, you got the 8-inch up. I have the 6-inch, and it has a controller on it. It's quiet. It's 265 CFM, so it's not as much as the TerraBloomer. I think the TerraBloom's like 350 or 400, but it does what I need to do. I don't have a bunch of smoke hanging out. So I like the AC Infinity. I'll probably buy what Tony has when I'm ready to upgrade.
It's great. It's a good fan.
Patrick is doing he's pulling a Patrick down here.
Show and tell. Yeah, that's the 4-inch version.
What is it? What do we got?
That's the 4-inch.
Oh, is that the AC Infinity as well?
Yeah, the reflex.
Okay, got it. The 4-inch. Sure. Very cool. What about you, Gio? Are you exhausting outside?
I am exhausting outside right now. I'm using a 6-inch that's necked down to 4-inch because my CO2 uses a 4-inch.
Is it the same brand?
No, it's a off brand. I don't even know what brand it is. It was given to me, so it was really cheap.
Gotcha. And what's your exhaust setup, Lithgow? What are you doing?
I have an 8-inch, very similar to the AC Infinity, but an Australian brand. Almost identical, except it's white. In fact, the controller looks exactly the same. And we have very, very quiet.
We have
AC is good.
quite a few viewers in Australia. Do you mind sharing the brand with us, or with whether or not you like it? Are you a fan
I
of it?
actually have to go have a look at it.
That's okay. Yeah, we'll link it in the
I'll put it in the
description.
Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll check that out for sure. That sounds great. We've got a couple items left here, guys. We're almost done. That was the photo box. And that's the Brown and Sharp. So I think we're just about done. The last thing that I wanted to pull up really quick, the X-Acto knives and tweezers reminded me of this. Get yourself a precision screwdriver kit. These things are great. They're great for, I use them all the time for watches, disassembling and reassembling watches. I have a kit very similar to this one right here. They're inexpensive, $13.99, right? $18.99 for some of the nicer ones. They've got a bunch of little tiny screwdriver heads that come with them in the packaging, and they're great for fiddling with watches or messing with electronics, working on controller drivers, things like that inside the machines. These are awesome, and I didn't want to leave that out. So does anybody else have anything else that they want to chat about as far as just your favorite accessories? We've covered a lot today. I didn't know if anybody else had like just kind of like a flash of insight while we were talking, and we had forgotten something I wanted to mention.
One thing
I think
I'd
have
like.
one. Go ahead.
I was
go
gonna say,
ahead.
the one thing
I'm
I'd
linking
like
it
to
right now.
mention, is I've noticed a few guys that are buying fiber lasers recently, and I'm very new to a fiber, but then they're going back a month or two later and saying, "Oh, I need a rotary," and they're going to have to install the stepper driver, the whole lot themselves. There are some companies that have the external power supply and stepper controller, but again, you've still got to open it up and plug it in. It's a pain in the backside. If you think you're going to need a rotary on a fiber, get the rotary stepper installed from the factory.
Yep. Very true.
Yeah.
It's a big pain in the butt. And we definitely, I don't think we've done a rotary episode for the podcast yet. So if you're just a podcast listener, we haven't really gone into depth on this, but that's definitely something that we can cover in a future episode, because I think we've all got a fair bit of rotary experience now with the fiber lasers, and we can definitely touch on that in the future. But that's an excellent tip. Don't treat the rotary as an accessory. Treat it as part of the machine, and get it when you're getting those extra lenses, because again, the $200 or $300 they're going to charge you for the rotary is a drop in the bucket compared to the $2,000 or $3,000 you're already spending on the machine. Save yourself the headache and just pick one up when you're buying the machine, because you're probably going to end up wanting to use it after you see some of the cool stuff that people are making in the Discord. That's it, guys. We did it. We came all the way through to the end. There is something new that I wanted to try today. So what I want to do is actually just go through, and I want to thank our producers. Our producers are Patreon members that they contribute $25 a month to keep the channel going, to keep the podcast going, and to support our Discord community. And I wanted to start thanking them on the podcast because they deserve it. And they've been working really hard at their jobs, at their businesses, and in their lives to make sure that we can continue doing what we're doing over here. So just a super quick special shout out to Cybersex, Ali Weebowo. I'm going to butcher these names. This is going to be a disaster. Tony. Thank you, Tony.
No problem.
We've got Bill S., Carson Zog, Daniel Zam Aripa, David Hawthorne. That name sounds familiar.
No, it's actually Rawsthorne.
Ross. Oh, that's an R. Ross Thorne. Sorry, I'm working on the small screen over here. Ross Thorne. Let's go, lights. Just say that. We've got Edward Havanesian. Oh, God. Jack C. Moore, Larry Dell, Matthew Van Dorn, Nick Barros, Patrick Moore. Thank you, Patrick. Rick Farrell. That's Rick over at DV Laserworks. We just had him on the show. Go listen to that episode. That's a great interview episode. Robert Hendry, Sam, Tacky. Thank you, Tacky. Travis Chamberlain, and Yaping Zing. Thank you guys so much for listening to me butcher your names and supporting what we're doing here. It means the world to me, to the staff, to be able to come on and do this for you guys every week. And you're support is immense. Special thanks to all of our other patrons as well that support us at the $8 and $4 tiers, especially that $4 tier if you're a...
Oh man, my video completely cut out. I guess I'll have to finish the video as a robot. Thanks again to all of our other patrons at the $4 and $8 tiers. If you'd like to join the Patreon team and support the channel, the podcast, and our community, you can find more at patreon.com/lasereverything. I wouldn't be anywhere near where we are right now without these amazing smiling faces right here. I'm so grateful for our amazing staff who show up every week to be a part of this podcast, so let's plug these guys and thank them for being here as well. Tachi, where can we see what you're up to these days?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Polygon Printing. Working on the showcase right now, working on axes, stuff like that. Stay tuned. Hopefully you guys see something you like. If you want to find me on Discord, ask me questions about what I'm doing. I'm almost always there.
Tony, tell me that website is done.
All right. Yeah. No, just you can find me on Etched Ideas on every platform. Working on a website right now.
That's etched_ideas, correct?
Yes, etched_ideas. You can find me there. It'll be, if you find a profile picture, is a light bulb. So,
Gio, if you don't have news about your YouTube channel, you're going to damage my robot circuitry.
It's getting closer. It's getting closer. I'm hoping to record some more stuff this weekend since it's a 3-day weekend. So we'll see how that goes. But YouTube and Instagram, it's a Maker Theory, MAKR Theory. And hopefully have some stuff up here in the next week or so.
I may be immortal now, but I can't wait forever. Lithgow, extra thanks for joining us today. Where can people see what you're working on?
Yeah, Lithgow Lights website, and on Facebook, Lithgow Lights. And I'm always at the Discord.
A treat from down under. Thanks again for being here with us. Patrick, you know what to do.
Of course, I'm always at the Discord, and Instagram is at 322firearms, and website is 3-22firearms.com. Find me there.
Well, this has been excellent, but my cold robot body has reduced the available power in my power core to below acceptable threshold, so I must now shut down for a bit and recharge. One last huge shout out to every single one of you listening.
yeah.
We'd be nothing without you. One last time, if you want to support the channel, the podcast, and the community, please visit us over at patreon.com/lasereverything. All of the products mentioned in this video are linked in the description and on the 2021 buying guide over at lasereverything.net/buying guide. Also, if you haven't already joined the Discord, go do it now. It's free, no excuses. We're hosting a contest where you have to engrave a preset graphic and the best one wins some Laser Everything merch, so check that out now. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you ... in the next one. Say goodbye, you smelly humans.
Reader.
Later.
Shutting down, goodbye.